And do you have any other particular hopes for the for the future of Atlanta and its transportation system? Any sort of big vision?
There are a couple things. One, I think the model vehicle for the future we already have, and it's called the city bus. And how do we make the bus a pleasant, efficient ride through the city, and really put it on level to compete with the single occupant vehicle? We know we're going to have the vehicles on the streets. We want them slower. We want them safer. I suspect when the day is done, they need to be a little smaller. I'll tell people, you can't see from the Zoom, but I'm 6'7", and I drive a Mazda CX-5 because I'm the only person in it. And I can essentially put the front seat on the back seat, and it provides me plenty of room. I'm not taking passengers with me. But years ago, I was in a meeting with some of the chambers of commerce talking about transportation. I said, if you had narrower vehicles, you could start splitting lanes, and you wouldn't need to build extra capacity. And they thought that was the funniest thing they'd ever heard. Little did they know I was actually serious about it. At the same meeting, I also said, if we were a little more trusting and a little more outside the box with work from home policies, that would reduce trips. And here we are in the pandemic, and we've proven that to be true. So for 3 months, our transportation, many of our congestion issues were solved because people were choosing to stay home to work. So we know it's really more of a global solution. And so I think the days of widen the roads and make more lanes because that fights congestion, we know that doesn't work, and we don't have the resources to do it. So what we've talked a lot about, Tom, is that from curb to curb, look at every lane and how do we get the highest usage out of it. And as we do that, the answer isn't always the automobile. The answer isn't always parking. It may be buses, it may be bikes, it may be something else. We've entered the conversation with our restaurants of, at what point do we talk about outdoor dining within the right of way, things like that. And so it's really this highest and best use for the space we already have, because we simply don't have the financial resources to go be building miles and miles. Right now, a complete street in Atlanta is about 10 million per mile. And it's mostly buying the land and moving the utilities. The construction cost isn't that much. It's just everything else we have to do to get ready to build. So how do we be good stewards of what we have?
That's it. It's a good vision to have. I think you need to be open to all these possibilities and bring in and be smart about transportation and how we organize our cities for the future.